Everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm sorry for my voice. I am a little under the weather today, but I am here and I'm feeling good though. So I just sound a little off. But welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Carrie. My husband Dale and I are the creators of Park Seeds app, From Seed to Spoon. We started gardening back 10 years ago today, like pretty much exactly 10 years ago.
Oh
And
wow.
we knew nothing, absolutely nothing, and had to learn fresh. And like we took our backyard of just completely nothing right here and then turned it over into a course of like 2 years. We turned it over to this. And then, I mean, over the course, like we got obsessed with gardening, you can say. So yeah, we just wish that there was an app along the way to help guide us, and we couldn't find one. So we are like, well, let's just go ahead and make one. And here we are today. And I am so excited to
Awesome.
welcome Kris today with us. Kris, you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yes. Hi, I'm Kris from Little Tech Girls Digital Homestead. I'm in the Chicago area, and I too started gardening not 10 years. My first attempt was maybe 15 years ago, and I kind of gave up. Then I really hit it hard when the pandemic hit. Although before that, I tried hydroponics, and every year I have expanded and expanded. And since I'm in the Chicago area and can't be out there in the winter, I like to garden indoors in the winter. I have two sets of twins, which are now grown. So I have a lot of time on my hands to tinker.
Well, that's amazing. I am so excited to learn from you because I have not tried my hand before at hydroponics. So I am really excited to learn from you and everything. Like, this is going to be so much fun today. I'm very excited. So, welcome.
Thank you so much.
And I see everybody's already in the chat right now. So, welcome. Thank you all for chatting. We love to hear from you. So, pop in there, say hi, let us know where you're gardening from, what you hope to learn today too. And if you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to pop them into the chat too. And I'll just be popping them up. This is going to be super informal. We're just going to be sitting here chatting with Kris. She's going to be talking to us about her gardening experience and showing us a little bit. And I'm very excited. But also, I do want to let you know that the more that you guys comment in the comment section, you will get entered in to win a free 1-year premium Seed to Spoon app subscription. So let me pull up the QR code here real quick. So if you don't already have the app, make sure you check it out. Up there's a QR code to download it, and it'll help you they'll walk you through growing over 100 different fruits, vegetables, herbs, as well as, the Growbot is in there, which is like our little AI chatbot where you can send pictures to it for plant identification, pest help, things like that. And also like a visual garden layout can help with all of that too. So yeah, so make sure you check that out. And one of you lucky commenters will be winning at the end of this live stream. So stay tuned. Okay. Here, I'll pop it over here to Kris. I am very excited. It looks like you've already been teaching a lot of people out there too.
Yeah, I did tell some of my followers and group members to join us. So, hey, y'all. Am I controlling the slides or are you? That part
I
I'm.
think if you are able to, I'll let you take it, but I can if
Oh,
it will
yeah,
help.
I see it. It's
Okay.
there. Yay. Okay. So, yes, let's get right into it. What is hydroponics? Hydroponics is a method of growing plants without soil using nutrient, water, and solution. So, there's no worried about buying tons of soil like us gardeners do every spring or going out to find compost and things like that. Some people do grow in soil in their homes, and you absolutely can. But if you're in an area that has high pest pressure or something like that, it can help to not have soil in your home. I think it's lagging. My little button went away. There we go. All right. So benefits, it's cleaner and more appealing than soil everywhere. It saves space because you can get a small hydroponics unit versus having all these soil pots everywhere. less pest pressure, as I mentioned. Unfortunately, sometimes we do have to deal with some pests. The most common ones are aphids, spider mites, and white flies. And once you get those little buggers in your house, they are hard to get rid of. Outside
I
is
feel
easy.
you there.
Yeah, I just blast them off with the garden hose outside, but inside it's a pain in the butt. As mentioned, no need to buy and haul a ton of soil. Therefore, you risk bringing more bugs in because a lot of the stores store their soil outside. So when you buy those bags of soil, it could be anything living in there. You don't want to bring that
That's
in
so
your
true.
house. It actually saves on water because instead of soaking a whole pot of soil, you have the water sitting there and the plant's roots are going to access it immediately and take just what it needs. Faster growth. I need to do it again, but if you were to start 2 plants, let's just say like a tiny Tim tomato plant, one in a hydroponics unit and one in soil, you're going to notice that one in hydroponics just completely take off. And this one's going to be left in the dust because it has faster access to nutrients, and something about the water and the roots just really makes the plants take off. Because of this, I actually start over 90% of my outdoor garden seeds in my hydroponics every year because it gets them off to a fast start. And I'll be showing you some of that a bit when we get to the show and tell part. You have 100% control over the nutrients. So you know exactly what you're putting in and nothing else. You don't have to worry about someone coming along and throwing their coffee in your bed because they don't feel like going to the garbage can. You don't have to worry about what might be hiding in that soil. You know, it's the water from your faucet and the nutrients that you put in. And there are no weeds. So we all love that, right?
That's what I'm
Weeds.
always battling every year.
Yeah. And this year was really bad for me. I don't
Yes.
know about you. I forgot what they're called, but those sticky ones where if you touch them, you
Oh my
scratch
gosh.
yourself. They were everywhere. So
Yes. My kids kept getting them too. And they were like, oh, it was
so
miserable.
not having to deal with that inside, even just for a few months, is nice. And speaking of months, I calculated here in my area, we get a good 2 to 3 months of summer. Then it's cold for like 7 months. So having something to do inside, even if it's just a couple of things, to bring some of that outdoor sunshine in or grow some flowers or something is always nice. Get rid of the winter blues.
We did have a quick question too from somebody. They asked if hydroponics was expensive. Like I don't even know the first how to answer
That
that.
depends. We're going to get into that in a moment. It can be expensive if you want it to. It can be little to nothing if you want it to. And I've done both methods. Here is just a slide showing proof that I do have an outdoor garden. So in the summer, it's big and it's beautiful and it's flourishing. But by the time I would say late August into September rolls around, I'm over it. And I'm sure most gardeners can relate to that. You're tired then, you're tired of preserving, you're tired of harvesting, and it's nice to take a break. So now, the beginning of November, I usually don't even get my indoor stuff going until around now because I'm finishing up outdoors and I need a little bit of a break. So here is the progression of my madness. In January 2020, I started with the 1 unit in the middle there. And actually, this date is not completely accurate. I got that 1 unit in the middle in 2018. That's an AeroGarden Harvest Classic. That's an old one now. And I originally purchased it for my daughter. She was doing an after-school matters program in aeroponics and hydroponics, and I thought she would like it for Christmas, but it sat in the box for like 2 or 3 months and she didn't open it. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna take this. And I opened it and set it up, and then soon after added the other 2. Then May 2020, middle of the pandemic, I added the more that you see there. That was my family room where we're sitting right now. And then now, December 2024 and 2025 is basically where we are now with more systems and the area of the basement that I took over. Now, in full defense, I did not pay for all of these. I certainly did not pay full price for all of these. I'm lucky enough to be gifted some of the systems from the companies in order to do reviews and teach you all about them. Marketplace gets me in trouble. I have been known to see a system on Marketplace and my enabler husband, you can't pass that up, go get it, I'll be back. So some of them have come about that way. And I even have a couple that were given to me by others, like someone, the last picture there, you see a tower garden right in the middle, the one with the straight up and down lights.
Yeah.
And he was selling me that one. And he said, I'll give you my old garden for free to go with it. I said, I'll take them both. So, yeah, so I have another one sitting here that we'll look at, which someone just gave me recently, which has some issues. So I'm trying to refurbish it, but I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll tinker and, I can fix it up. So I like to have like all of them. So when people ask questions in my group or on YouTube or whatever, I can answer questions. And yes, Marketplace is dangerous. So are hydroponics hard? No, not at all. You decide if you want to be nerdy about it or be laid back. Excuse me. If you watch some people's YouTube videos, you will see that there are people out there that want to control everything. They're checking what's called the pH of the water. They're checking the EC and the ppm to measure the nutrients and all of that. And they want to control it all. And they're constantly adding things and tweaking things. Then there are those of us like me that prefers to be more laid back. I use nutrients that are pH balanced, so I don't have to check the pH. I stick to the same nutrient in almost everything, with a couple of exceptions of additives, but I don't have time to measure, to use all the little tools. I mean, you can if you want to, because some people are just sciencey like that and they love that stuff. You decide if you want to start small or go big. In my slides, you saw some smaller systems, which if you only have a little bit of a countertop space in your kitchen, you can still grow some herbs. Or if you're like me and you're lucky enough to have a basement, you can go nuts and jump in down there. You can also decide if you're just looking to grow some flowers or propagate some house plants because you just want some green in winter. Or if you know that during the winter months, you're tired of having to go to the store and buy lettuce because it's not outdoor gardening season, or you're tired of buying herbs, you can try to grow all your lettuce and herbs in the house so you don't have to buy those things from the grocery store. And as someone mentioned, is it expensive? You decide if you want to upcycle things you have in your house already, grab some free stuff from Marketplace and DIY something, or if you want to budget for a larger system. And many of us that are into hydroponics do it all, or we start with a small system and then we one day go nuts and go bigger.
Yeah. Well, I feel that that's regular gardening too. We started
Absolutely.
with 2 real small garden spot, and you saw our garden expanded in a couple years. So this is probably
like
going to happen to me too.
I've been expanding every year since 2000, and I say I'm done, and I think I'm done. However, I decided that next year I need to upgrade my little greenhouse. So the new greenhouse is already here. It's in boxes. Half the boxes are in the garage. The other half are in the shed because they were having a sale and giving me a good deal. So I said, I'm going to buy it now, but we're not going to put it up till spring. And that better be the last thing because I'm done. Yeah. I have like 30 raised beds, 20 green stalks and stuff out there. So I think it's good now.
That's
So
awesome.
choosing the right system is going to be based on several things: your budget. When first getting into hydroponics, you might not want to spend that much money at first. You might not want to jump in with a big system because you don't know if you're going to like it. So you buy a small system, and I'm going to start some show and tell now. Sorry for the cranky noise.
Yeah,
Let's see. This one is a Let Pot Air. So this one has just 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 pods, okay? And it's great for growing herbs, lettuce, small micro dwarf tomatoes, and all kinds of things. I've used it a couple times in the past. This is one of my newer systems, though, so it hasn't been used that much. But something as small as this can get you started. And this one's only around $50 or so, went on sale. So not bad at all. If you want to go bigger, like, let's just tilt here. This is one of my Rise Gardens. That is an expensive one. This is a 3-tier. So if you want to try to grow more of your greens, herbs, or even tomatoes, you can go for something like this. Then, of course, there are the vertical systems. There's a URL on this page here, so I know I'm rambling a lot, but everything I talk about will be on that page, so you guys can reference it. There are at least 7 methods of hydroponics. The 3 most popular for in-home growing are aeroponics, which is what these small systems, the garden, the lettuce grow, all that stuff is based on. And that's basically the method of swirling water. Okay, so you've got your pumps that swirl the water down the poles, or it's not the poles, the tubes, or you swirl it around the bottom of the tank. Like if we open this here, oh, good, it's loose. This is the little pump that's in this system. So when it's on, water just shoots out of here and swirls it around in the bottom of the tank, which aerates the water, which gives the roots some oxygen. Okay, thank you. And then cracky. I have an empty mason jar here, which all of gardeners and canners are familiar with. This is a half-gallon mason jar, and you'll notice that it's brown. This is their amber jar. It blocks out 99% of light. And what that's good for is in hydroponics, when the nutrient solution is in there, you want to keep light out. Otherwise, you might have algae problems. So I just want to show you how easy it is to set up a cracky jar. Give me just one moment. Right over here, I have some seeds that I started in cocoa coir. These are some nasturtiums and spinach. Both these things are notorious for not wanting to start right in hydro. So if you were to drop them right into your AeroGarden or something, you may or may not get seedlings, okay? So I started them in cocoa coir, which is basically a soil substitute to get them off to a start. So let's say I decide I want to put my nasturtiums in a cracky jar. All you need is that jar, and this is called a net cup. This is a 3-inch net cup. Okay, they come in 2-inch also, and that fits perfectly right in the top of the jar. Why is it called cracky? Because a guy named Dr. Cracky, excuse me, I can't remember his first name, in Hawaii invented the method many years ago. And he does have a YouTube channel where he still does stuff, but it's named after him. So I'm going to carefully take one of my little nasturtium cuttings out of here. Not cuttings, seedlings. Hopefully without disturbing the roots too much. There we go. You can see those little roots in here. Let me just knock off some of the cocoa. Now, if this was soil, I would take it over to the sink and I'd give that a good wash because I don't want soil in the system. But cocoa coir is okay. So after that, you're going to put this in here with the help of some clay pebbles, aka leca, which you guys have probably heard of, which is, let me see if I get this right, lightweight aggregated clay something. I will have to look it up because I can't remember, but it's just this simple. So with something like this, that you already have your little roots, I'm just going to put some clay pebbles in the bottom. Let me angle this so you can see what I'm doing, sort of, just for a moment. Okay, and then you're going to hold your plant there, and we're going to put some more clay pebbles around it to hold that stem in place. And all of these things are very reasonably priced. Even if you can't find the amber jars, you can use a clear jar and you can cover it up. You can use a 5-gallon bucket, a 1-gallon bucket. You can use a yogurt tub. You can reuse things around your house. So now that's in there, okay? Right now, the roots are hiding up here in the clay pebbles. So when we put this in, when I add my nutrient solution, I'm going to add it all the way up so that it's like halfway up this net cup. And what's going to happen is as the plants start to grow, the roots are going to grow down through that net cup and they're going to go down into the nutrient solution and feed directly. And I should have put a picture of a previous one up here. And cracky is based on the plant forming what's called air roots. So once the roots go down into the nutrient solution, you're going to notice the top inch or so of roots are going to become fuzzy. Yes, the clay pebbles do need to be washed before using them. You want to give them a good swish in water and rinse them and rinse them and rinse them to get all the sediment off that might be in there from shipping. And it's kind of dusty, so you want to get rid of all of that. So once you see those air roots form, then you want to keep your nutrient solution just at the bottom of the roots or so, or not that exactly, but you want to keep those 2 inches or so of roots exposed at the top so that the air roots give the plant oxygen. I hope that made sense. And I have done a lot of cracking in the past, and it's very useful. Okay, so
That
that's
sounds
cracking.
you make it look so simple.
It really is. It really is. It's very simple. And I have 5-gallon buckets, like just the black buckets from the store.
Uh-huh.
I've done that. I had this absolutely massive Swiss chard plant outside. You can do tomatoes, peppers, herbs, anything basically, and it works great. So yeah, so this one is aeroponics. That one was cracky, and I think the next slide shows DWC. Yes, DWC stands for deep water culture. So it actually came from Amazon, or tubs rather. These came from Amazon, but I've also used the similar black ones from IKEA. So it's basically like cracky, where the roots are extended in the net cup and it's down in that tub. However, there is an air pump in there. Instead of the little water pump that's swirling around the bottom of the unit that I showed you, this one is pumping air into the system and swirling around in the tank, which is how the roots get oxygen. And as you can see, the plants look really happy and beautiful because they love it. So when it comes to growing fast, you'll notice crackiest, slowest because it's passive, although it does still grow. And then DWC, the plants just really take off. So if you want to grow things like, I would say, strawberries or some other things that are sometimes susceptible to root rot, use DWC because then you're making sure that the roots get air. Any questions about that?
Interesting. We had a few questions about the key. So do you still need lights for that?
You need lights for growing any food indoors, unless you live in an area where you have a south facing window that gets full sun like 8 to 10 hours a day. Otherwise, what you're going to see is mine are not so bad, but these little seedlings, they look pretty good. But if you're growing like a tomato plant or something, and you notice that it's really tall and skinny and the stem is weak, that's because it's starved for light. That's called being leggy. You want to start off with a good grow light right over your plants, like in my picture here, from the start, from the time they are seedlings, so that they are strong from the start. So always have a grow light, again, unless you live in an area that's getting all that light. Here in the Chicago area, it's now getting dark at 4:30 p.m. And my main window does not even face south. So I would not try to grow any food in my windowsill. Okay. You
Yeah.
can, but you're not going to get really good results for some things. Like
Well,
some
like
people.
how I have mine set up, because I have a lot of big trees that block the sun too. So I
Mhm.
have like little grow lights right here actually
Ah,
that you wouldn't
okay.
even see
Yeah, but
normally.
they're in the
But
window.
it's enough so I
Smart.
can grow like little tomatoes and peppers and things like that.
And I have a lot of grow lights. So when I'm not using them for seed starting, I use them for stuff like this. And I will show you one of those in a moment too. And let's
So we did have another quick question about how high do you fill up the solution for the nutrient
Yeah.
solution?
So like I was saying from the beginning, when your roots are still hiding up here in the net cup and haven't found their way down yet, you can kind of see here. That's the net cup. That's the bottom of the net cup. Put it up to about halfway at that time. Then as the plant starts to grow and it feeds itself from that nutrient solution, you're going to lower it to about here. Now these jars have lines on them. So one good way to look at it is like this line is 1200, this one is the middle, this one is 1000. If your roots are about that long, under the cage, stop it with these jars. This is a decent size for herbs, lettuce and stuff like that. If you're growing something that is really, really a heavy feeder, you're going to have to fill this up like every other day. or every 2 or 3 days. Okay. So you want to make sure you watch it and then fill it to that same level. Because what you want to make sure you don't do is drown your air roots. Once you have those nice fuzzy air roots getting oxygen, they don't want to be smothered. But it's not that much to worry about as long as you just keep it to that same level. Let's see, any other questions?
What is the nutrient solution? They were
So
asking
there
if
are many, many things that you can use. Let's see if I have anything in this. Yes, I do. Perfect. So this is AeroGarden nutrients. If you buy an AeroGarden or a seed pod, this was my Japanese green seed pod kit. It comes with a little bottle of nutrients in there. And you can use that in your AeroGarden, other brands, and Cracky or whatever, as long as you mix it using the directions on the bottle. In this tub, I have what's called Maxi Grow. I just dumped it out of the bag the other day because the bag was getting beat up. And this is a dry solution that you have to premix with water first based on the directions, which I copied from the pack, 1 to 2 teaspoons per gallon. And this is perfect for herbs and leafy greens. And then they have Maxi Bloom, same directions, but it's best for fruiting plants. So in my systems up, or you can just use this for everything. So in my systems up here, I mostly just use the Maxi Bloom because I might have a mix of greens, tomatoes, and things like that in there. And I don't want to have to be jumping back and forth, changing up. But in all of my smaller systems, because I have so many of these, I use the AeroGarden nutrients no matter what brand the system is. Like up here, we have a Let Pot and a Grow Well. I'm still using my AeroGarden nutrients in there.
So do you have to change out the water and clean it out? And if so, how often?
Every now and then. You don't have to do it a lot. Some people, again, those people that want the control over everything, they might do it once a week. But as long as it still looks clean, if the roots look healthy, you don't have to do that. You just top it off and then do it every now and then. If you notice that it's starting to get murky in the water, yes, dump it and start fresh. Or you can set a schedule for yourself if you want to do that, where you want to dump it out every 2 weeks or once a month or whatever you're comfortable with.
Makes sense. So where does one get those jars?
These are just ball jars. These are kind of hard to find now, the amber ones, but anywhere you can buy mason jars, look for them. Walmart, Target. I would say Amazon, but they tend to charge an arm and a leg for them. And again, if you can't find the amber ones, you can use clear, just cover them. Some people have gotten fancy and they'll make like crochet covers for them.
That's
Not
cute.
on this size, but the smaller size. I have stolen my husband's socks and put them over some Star Wars socks. Yeah. So as long as you have something, some people even wrap it in foil, which drives me crazy because I think it looks itself. So I don't do that. But as long as you're keeping the light out, that's what's important. And of course, in the tubs, like what's on my picture here, or the other systems, you don't have to worry about that. That's only on your cracky jars if it's see-through glass. So popular brands, have already mentioned AeroGarden, and let me now show you one. I actually have two. Oh, I forgot they were plugged in. Okay. So this is one of their new ones. This was first called a Harvest 2.0, and then I believe they changed the name to Harvest Light. And what you'll notice about this one is the deck on top. This is my seed starting deck that I use when it's time to start seeds for the outdoor garden. So this one has 23 spaces. All you do is you take your regular deck out, which is only going to have 6 spaces in it, and you put this one in instead. And so once your garden seeds get off to a good start, you take them out, you put them in soil, you harden them off, you take them outside. Okay. And I have one more AeroGarden here. This is a fancier version called the Harvest Elite 360. in a pretty copper color. You see, this one has the screen and buttons. The other one does not have the visual screen on it. So this one is beneficial because you can actually program your days planted. You can set the light time to come on and off exactly when you want it to. On the other one, it's more simple. So to program that one at the time you want it to go off and on, you have to basically get up in the morning, unplug it and plug it in, and it will go from there, okay? So that's the smaller systems, the more popular ones. Then we get into some of the bigger systems. And I think this is where I would like to switch over to the phone so I can walk around. So give me one
You're
moment.
good. Yeah. It'll be fun to see everything.
Wow. Here we go to link. So there will be two of me momentarily.
Well, I can take this you off if you want.
Oh, okay. That works too. Oh. Says I must use Safari.
Oh, you're good. I don't know if you can talk while you're doing that, but if you can, do you have any
Yeah.
recommendations for books?
No, I don't. People always ask that, and I have not looked into any hydroponics books. And one of the reasons is that there's just so much free info online. You know, YouTube, there, my group, other people's groups. There's just so much info that you can find for free. But I do know people love books. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
write
a
one.
visual learner myself. I like to see things, so that's why like I'm
Mhm.
watching you do this. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I love it. Okay, here we go. Let
Ooh,
me
double Kris. All
you
right,
real quick.
let me
There we go.
need to turn this on. And I need to flip my camera. I know I did this before. Where's that button?
It's always fun doing this.
Ah, here we go. Back camera. Okay. Yay. I'll turn this way.
Perfect.
Okay, so oh, it's the opposite of where I am. That's okay. I'll have to remember. So over here is the Rise 3 tier that I mentioned. Okay, I don't have much planted up in here yet because I'm just getting started. But this whole top level is cuttings from the outdoor garden that I wanted to save. I like to call it my fancy herbs that sometimes you can't find seeds for. So we have some sage over here. Don't ask me the variety. I can't remember. Burgers or something. We have purple sage, that one I know, and some more. Some of them are looking sad because some did have roots when I put them in, some did not. So we're waiting to see if some of them root. This is perpetual basil, which is a variety that I usually get from Home Depot. And you can see the little roots on there that have formed since I put it in. Cuban oregano, some rosemary, and some other things. So this system, the top two levels only go up to about 10 or 11 inches. So that's best for short things like the herbs, and microdorf tomatoes will work. This is some microdorf tomato cuttings that I saved from outside. And then the bottom goes up to 17 inches. So I can put some small variety peppers in there or some other small variety tomatoes, and that'll work great. This is the one I mentioned that someone just gave me for free. This is like the first version, and it has some issues I'm trying to work out. I can't get it on Wi-Fi, and the light is crazy, but I'll work on it another time. So up here, we have another Let Pot model. This is the Let Pot Max, and I used this to start my group challenge seeds. In my group, we're doing a grow challenge where we're growing little tomatoes and tomatoes and stuff. So these will all be moved to other systems for the most part, but I was able to start them here, let them get great roots,
Wow,
and
that's
then I'll be
beautiful.
able to move them. Yeah. And it started so fast. I just started these on Sunday, November 9th, and already the cucumbers look like this. Then over here in this system that I'm testing, I decided to do all arugula. This is Sylvetta arugula. And I just started these, I think, 4 days ago. No, 5 or 6 days ago. And they already look like this. So these will also be moved to, these are all going to stay here because arugula doesn't get too big and crazy. So I'll be able to use the cut and come again method here and just harvest and let the center leaves continue growing. And we're going to move over here. And this is the Lettuce Grow Nook. So they have two versions. They have a Lettuce Grow Farm Stand, which I have in the basement. And this is the smaller version, the Lettuce Grow Nook, which you can grow 20 plants. So I've got some beautiful lettuce in here, collard greens, some red lettuce. This one's a lot of lettuce because I want a lot of lettuce for winter. Then we have some red bok choy, some Mizuna. These two, I tried to save some volunteer deal from outside and they didn't make it. So I'm going to replace those with something. Some butter lettuce, some more lettuce. Here's some Swiss chard. And this system does 20 plants. The tank, I think, is 9 gallons. So it's very easy to take care of. And as you can see, the lights are bright. Then right next to that, we have the garden studio, which is the smaller garden. I have big gardens in the basement. This one does 16 plants, and I just started this one up a few days ago, about a week ago as well. So all my seedlings are tiny. We've got red mustard, purple bok choy, flashy lettuce, perpetual spinach, which is a chard, butter crunch lettuce, and some more. So this area here is basically going to be my salad bar, that and this. So I can come right over from the kitchen and grab stuff. Now there's only 2 more systems up here that I want to show. This one was the first one I started up with cuttings from outside. So this is basil. This is the same perpetual basil, but for some reason this one's not showing the variegation yet. And then we have a bunch of those sages. And this one I want to talk about. This is Portuguese oregano. I originally bought cuttings of this on Etsy 3 years ago. You can't find seeds, but I bought cuttings and I've been saving it and propagating it. And this is my last living cutting. So I'm waiting for it to get bigger so I can do more. And then this is a new system, which is not exactly hydroponics, but I'm using it that way. This is the Let Pot Seed Starter that they just released. You can use soil in here as well for starting your outdoor seeds. And what's cool about it is it does 40 spots and it has a built-in heat mat. So you don't need an extra heat mat. So I've decided I'm going to use this in the summer when it's time to start my pepper seeds. Then I don't have to worry about using a separate heat mat. So now we could plant up a little system if you like. Or I could switch back to the laptop. You think that's best?
Oh, totally up to you. I'm learning from you. This is all brand new stuff for me. This is exciting.
Yeah, let's switch back to the laptop. Then I can see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'll end this one.
Here we go. I took you off. You're good.
Oh, okay. Unmute. All right, so planting these things is super easy. Sorry, other phone was still blasting. You only need a few things. It's still doing it. Hold on.
Oh, are you hearing it?
Yeah, the iPhone didn't want to be booted out. Let me close the app. There we go. Okay. So you have your system. And the nice thing about a lot of these small systems like this is they use the same similar pods. So when you get one, it'll come with these. Some of these say AeroGarden. Some of these are blank. And these can be reused, okay? Don't throw those away. They fit right in like this. And then you have your sponges. And I have here, these are actually, believe it or not, the Park Seed Biodome sponges. And those of us in hydroponics go nuts for them because they are very well made and they fit perfectly in our little hydroponic cages.
That does fit perfect. Wow.
Yeah. So when these things go on sale, everyone in my group goes nuts. And I actually have the biodome here. So this is what it was originally made for. This is the 60 cell biodome. When you buy one of these from Park Seed, it comes with 60 of those, which you can use in here or you can use them in your hydroponics. So I use these as well to start seeds in the summer. But I can also use them. I don't know that I need 60 plants, but if you are like me and have a lot of systems, you could use these to start 60 plants for indoors as well. And one quick tip I wanted to mention about these, it comes with the dome, but once most of your plants start growing and you want to take your dome off, here's what we do in hydro for the seed starter. Communion cups act as perfect little domes on top of the bottom.
Wow.
They fit perfectly. And you can get a pack of these on Amazon for $10. So I keep them on hand. But back to this. So the main difference you're going to see here between this AeroGarden with the seed starter and this one with the cages is that the seed starter, you don't need the cages. So you can take your sponge and you drop that right in, because the intention is to take this out and plant it somewhere else, like in your outdoor garden. So you don't need the cages. But if you're doing this for your system inside, you want the stability of the cage to stay there, okay? And I have a whole bowl of the biodome sponges soaking, because you want to make sure they're moist at planting. And I'll just show you only a couple. So real simple. Sometimes I use little tweezers for this, depending on what I'm planting, but don't have them over here. So you put your sponge in there. And this one, since I'm reusing an old cage, it already has a label over it. You can get labels to put over them. Some of the systems come with them, and that's to keep light out of the pod, which keeps algae down. And I have some of the Park Seed seeds here that I'm going to plant. We've got some bonsai basil. I'm not going to do them all now. Some dill, some red velvet hybrid tomatoes, which is from the Kitchen Minis collection, tomato Siam tomatoes, and then Fresh Bites orange peppers. And what's great about these is they are micro-dwarf varieties. So perfect for a system like this, because the light doesn't go all that high. So you don't want your plants to outgrow your system. Lots of people, there's a myth in hydroponics that you have to move your plants out of these systems. You don't. As long as you plant something that is sized right, the plant can live its life in these systems. And I had a variety called AeroGarden Golden Harvest live in my AeroGardens for 2.5 years before I finally decided to pull the plant to try something new. That's the other thing, is inside we don't have weather. There's no extreme heat coming through. There's no winter and all of that. So as long as we take care of the plants, they will keep going and going and going, because they're not getting that trigger that the season is over inside. So even if you have what's supposedly a determinate tomato plant, it will go on and on and on and on. Okay, so here's my red velvet tomato. I'm going to take a couple of seeds. I tend to only start 1 or 2 seeds in each pod, because I don't like wasting seeds, and I'm not good at thinning, because then I feel bad about killing the plants. So I'm going to put 2 in this pod with my fingernails, since I didn't bring my little tweezers, right in that middle hole in the pod. And that's it. Then you put that in your system. You put that wherever you want it to live. You plug it in and you wait. Okay. And tomatoes actually sprout really fast in these things. Within 3 or 4 days, you will have a tomato sprout and it will start taking off. And in a system of this size and a plant like that, I would say you could do 2 or 3 plants. And for the holes that you are not using, you want to cover them again to keep that light out. I thought I had some covers somewhere here. There's little covers that you can get, which I could swear were on my table, but now they are not. Nope. Oh, there they are. Sorry. Excuse me. So for the holes that I don't plant up, I will take one of these covers and put them over. You can get these on Amazon, or sometimes they come with the systems as well. And that's going to keep the light out of the tank. Okay. It's just that easy. Same thing with the larger systems. The Rise here comes with square ones, because they're pot holes are actually square. So you put these over any hole that you're not using, to keep your system clean and to keep that extra light out. So one reason we all end up with so many systems like this is because you realize it's a lot of fun, and because you want to grow everything. You want to grow tomatoes, you want to grow small peppers, you want to grow herbs, you want to grow lettuce. And for the most part, in these small systems, it's best to keep those things separate because they have different nutrient requirements. So this could be my tomato garden. Then I might have another one just like it. That's my lettuce garden, etc. How deep do you put the seeds in the sponge? You just drop them in. There's a little hole. These sponges have pre-made little holes in them. Right there. You just drop it in. That's it. Don't have to dig it in deeper. Any other questions about that?
You do have somebody that's saying, so what'd be the easiest thing to do here?
To get started?
Yeah.
Buy a system like this, or buy an AeroGarden. The nice thing about buying an actual AeroGarden, even though they have gone out of business and come back, is you always get seed pods with it. If you buy directly from them, you can choose your seed pod sometimes on the list. If you buy from Amazon, it's usually going to come with lettuce or herbs, but you have something to get you started. And those, like I showed you, it comes with the nutrients. So you have that. And it comes with these pre-seeded pods, which are labeled for you to show you exactly what they are. So we've got some Asian greens here. I can't even pronounce that one. Shunguku, I think. But this was a Japanese greens kit that I purchased. But when buying them, you're going to get either herbs or lettuce, most likely. And then you get the domes. So you put this over your, one of them, over your seeds when you plant for a little bit of humidity. And you have everything all in one kit, no fuss, okay? But this one,
Uh-oh.
you get your nutrients, you get your stages, you get. So with the Let Pot, if you buy this one, you get everything except the seeds. You get your nutrients, you get your cages, you get the domes, you get the sponges, and you can use your own seeds. So if you have lettuce seeds, if you have microdorf tomato seeds, you have herb seeds, you just put those in the pods and you're ready to go. If you want to DIY something yourself, like my little cracky jar here, find a mason jar in your house that you're not using. I don't recommend anything smaller than 32 ounces. 64 is better. You can find a net cup like this on Amazon. They're very cheap. I'll put a link. You get like 25 of them for $12 or something ridiculous. And even if you don't have clay pebbles, you can use the cocoa core, not soil. Don't ever put soil in your hydroponics because it'll throw the nutrients off and throw the system way off. Or you can use the sponges. Like I have a different type of sponge here. Depending on your system, it's going to use a different shape of sponges. Everything on my table has been moved around. I don't see it, but those basic, oh, here, I'll just take this. So for here in the Rise Garden, the sponge is square. It's still about 1.5 inches, but it's square, okay? So if you know you're starting seeds for this system, you would use Root Riot, Rapid Rooter, or similar plugs for that. If you're doing it for your AeroGarden or a similar unit like the Let Pot, you're going to use the long ones like this, okay? And some people more talented than me have made templates for 3D printing. So if you have a 3D printer, you can download many adapters that will allow you to put your AeroGarden plugs into these systems. Like here, I have one that I printed for my garden. So I could take my AeroGarden plug and pop it right in here, and it'll go on my garden over there. So I can still use my AeroGarden to start seeds for my larger unit, which is nice. The one I showed you in the other room that I said is the Let Pot seed starter. That one I'm using all of the square plugs because I'm starting them for my systems that use those types. And a lot of the large systems do. They all use some variety of 2-inch net cups in their format. And they have the same type of sponge. So I can use that system to start them for my garden, my lettuce grow, my tower garden, my iHarvest, etc. Have you ever tried the NFT technique? Would you recommend? No. Yeah, that's not true. Yes, and I gave it up very quickly. I bought us one of the PVC systems several years ago on Amazon, and I just could not get the leveling right. It annoyed me that I had to have the big separate tank of water, and those tubes or whatever are so narrow. Like it's either going to be PVC pipe or it might be rain gutter tubing or something like that. um, there's not a lot of room for roots. So sometimes they get clogged, or you want to only grow things like lettuce. People use them to grow a whole bunch of lettuce or leafy greens or whatever at one time. But for my space and what I was doing, it just wasn't working out well for me. I tried to do one outside in my greenhouse and it wouldn't work right. So I actually have two of those in boxes that I need to give away to someone else that wants to tinker with them. So
How do you feel about using rock wool in your pods?
the garden uses rock wool. Let me grab one.
I will say, somebody said, I love when Park Seed has the buy one, get one for free on their plugs. Yeah, they have great sales. And right now they're doing a pre-Black Friday sale where site-wide it's 25% off. So definitely check that out too.
And I believe my code will take off money on top of the sale. I'll be sure to put that somewhere.
Well, I will say too, if you are a 1-year premium Seed to Spoon app subscriber, you get free shipping on all your orders through Park Seed as well. So
I did
that
not know
is
that. That's
huge,
awesome.
and that adds up. Yes.
That's
So
awesome.
one of you guys too today might get that.
Okay, so some of the systems will use rock wool because that's what they come with. So here's the garden pot. That's rock wool. You can see it there and there. Okay. When it comes to using it on my own, I don't like it for two main reasons. It's very, very algae prone, and it can be hard to work with. It breaks apart very easily. And some people, not me, I'm lucky, but some people have a sensitivity to whatever is in the rock wool, the actual rock or whatever it's made from, and they'll get itchy. So you have to wear gloves when using it. I just prefer the Root Riot plugs or something like that. And I have here, this is one version of them, Viagrow. So there's like 3 left in here, but this is what they look like. And these will fit in all the same places that rock wool would fit. Like I mentioned, the garden, the iHarvest, the tower garden, the rise, all of these are the same size, and I get whichever one is on sale at the time I'm ordering, either Root Riot, the Viagrow, Rapid Rooter. There's like 5 different brands that I've used, and they're all good. I have some rock wool that I need to use up, and actually I have some here because I have it. And I figured, well, let me see how spinach does in this, because as mentioned, spinach is finicky and doesn't really like to germinate in hydro. So I put a bunch of spinach seeds in this rock wool, and it's been several days and I don't see anything yet. Oh, I might see one starting to do a little something, but not much at all. So I just tend not to like it.
Are there any good substitutions for it?
I think I just answered that question.
Oh, did you? Okay.
The Root Riot, Rapid Rooter, etc. plugs. Yeah, same size. They're a little more expensive, but they hold up much better.
Awesome.
So this is part of my basement, which we're not going to today because it's a hot mess right now. But on the left there, you see 3 garden systems. The Garden 4.0, and the garden to the far right is the free one that someone gave me, which was a 1.0, and I had to kind of fix it and upgrade it a bit, and now it runs great. And then the picture in the forefront is the tower garden, which was full of some beautiful greens at the time. I see lettuce and dill, and that one I bought used on Marketplace, and I love it. The other thing I forgot to mention when you think about the systems that you want to get is your physical ability when it comes to taking care of them and cleaning them. Like systems that big, when it comes time to clean them, with the tower garden, I'm gonna have that one requires some screws, which doesn't make me happy. I'll be cleaning it, doing a deep clean for the first time soon. So I'm gonna have to take it apart, haul it up the stairs to outside or to my bathtub or something like that and scrub it. The ones up here that I showed you are all pretty easy to clean. And I have a fairly large kitchen sink, so I can easily clean them in there. But think about your physical ability. A lot of people like to stick with the small systems because this is super easy to just pop the light off like this one does. And then you take this part over to your sink and you just give it a good wash. Don't put them in your dishwasher because that can warp the plastic. Just give them a good hand wash, and citric acid can get rid of a lot of the sediment and nutrient buildup that comes in there. My basement is the same temperature as the rest of my house, which is around 70 degrees. If you're going to use your garage, that depends on where you are. You said it stays at around 60. Two things to think about. What do you want to grow? Because that's a little cold for like peppers and tomatoes. And do you get pests in there? You don't want to put your plants somewhere where you're going to basically be making a buffet for all the bugs in the neighborhood. And most garage door, the window, they rolled in on your shirt. We always have an ongoing joke here because my patio door here, my husband's like, what do they do? I just imagine two flies sitting out there on the patio. Okay, it's almost time. He's about to open the door. Go! And they just fly in. And it's crazy. I've just been fighting the fruit fly war since I finally got rid of all the produce from outside. They're finally almost gone, but they
Yes.
drive me crazy. But they're not as annoying. I would much rather deal with the gnats or the fruit flies than the aphids. Let's see what else is left. Oh, here's some beautiful pictures since I didn't have much in big plants to show you today. We have some fairy tale eggplant on the left, which is growing in an AeroGarden Bounty Elite. Top middle is some microdwarf tomatoes. I believe that was the AeroGarden heirloom cherry, which is red robin microdwarf tomatoes. Then below that, we have some strawberries that were growing in my lettuce grow farm stand. And then next to that, we have the Nook, which is the same one that's over here, but that's when it was full and beautiful a few months ago. And then the last picture is Cajun bell peppers, which is spicy bell pepper. Those are one of my favorites to grow, actually. The plants are really prolific and they're really pretty. And this is quick snack cucumbers. So when it comes to growing some things inside, there are some things you don't want to grow. You don't want to grow indeterminate tomato plants unless you have a huge room and lots of light because they're going to get 8-10 foot vines or more. So you don't want to grow that. You don't want to grow plants that need manual pollination unless you just have nothing else to do in life and you're going to sit there and watch them and wait for the male flower to open and go to the female flower, blah, blah, blah. So this is when you will grow something like this. Quick snack cucumbers are what's called parthenocarpic, which means they don't need manual pollination. So they grow all female flowers. And you don't need to help them. So you can point a fan at them or something like that, but they're going to just do their thing and they're going to produce cucumbers anyway. If you don't grow a variety like that, you're going to be posting and asking, why am I not getting cucumbers? And it's because you're not manually pollinating them. You don't have bees or ants or anything like that in your house, so you would have to help them. And every flower would have to be pollinated. So it's a bit of a waste of time. I'm not going to grow a cucumber plant for months to get one cucumber.
Yeah, I actually just ordered because Park Seed just came out
I
with
saw they just
kitchen
put them
mini.
up. And you know what?
Like, yes.
I wish that was there a few months ago because the Grow Challenge that I mentioned, we just started on November 9th. And one of the varieties is Quick Snack. I had to get it from somewhere else since you all didn't have it. And we had a couple other varieties. But now that I see that you guys have them, I'm going to make sure people know because that's one of everyone's favorites.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
All right. Yeah, they are really good too. And they grow really fast. Very prolific little plant. That was what I showed you up here was my two little quick snacks. And I'm going outside my comfort zone with one of those. I started another variety. I can't remember what it is right now, but it's a long variety parthenocarpic cucumber, which the vines are going to get like 6 to 8 feet. So I'm going to have to do some type of tomato trellis thing or something in the basement for that one. But someone else in my group was growing them. I'm like, those are nice. So I'm going to try it. Okay, so getting started fast. I welcome everyone to join my group, and I will drop a link in the chat if I can. Can I?
You should be able to
I don't
type
think I
over in
can.
there. If not, you can put it in our chat and I can pop it in there for you.
Okay. Yeah, that one works, but not the public. And this is a group that I started in 2021. We do indoor and outdoor gardening. A lot of people in the group do both, and a lot of us are now into the indoor gardening because it's cold where we live. And a lot of people grow inside only because they don't have outdoor space. And that's what's nice about it. Even if you are in an apartment, a small townhouse, or whatever, you can find a little bit of space for growing some food. I always tell people, if you can find space for houseplants, you can find space to grow food. And I did drop the link there. I saw a question. There's a lot of questions. No, you can't really use the biodome as a hydroponic system. And that's because there's no room for the roots to go anywhere. This tray is made just for getting the seeds started and then taking them out. This is this thick. This is like this. So it's going to sit right in there. Once the roots grow and are established, you need to move that out after like 3 or 4 weeks. Otherwise, they are just going to cycle and the plants are going to get root bound.
There are different sizes of the biodomes. So like the 18 cell, I tend to keep them in longer, but like you said, still I I will move them out of the
I have
biodomes.
those too. Yeah. Communion cups. Yes. Communion cups. Wow. Hi, Monica. It's one of my local folks. I'm trying to see if I missed any questions.
Do you have an affiliate link? Somebody was asking about that too. For any products.
For
They didn't
which thing?
specifically say. Maybe
I
your
do.
website
And
just has a link to everything.
Yeah, let me put that link for you. I have a whole page of affiliate links. I've been lucky enough to get the companies to give me codes to share and stuff. I have codes for garden, lettuce grow, let pot. I used to have AeroGarden, but unfortunately they through bankruptcy or whatever they were going through. Monica wants a rise. And you know what? Let me tell you something. The rise is a beautiful piece of furniture, but it would not be my first choice for a system. And that's for one main reason, the fixed light height. People have created extenders. I actually bought one from a guy on Etsy that I need to install to make the light taller. However, the top 2 tiers is only 10 inches. And then the bottom tier is only 17 inches. So you're limited in the height of the plants that you can grow. And by the light being fixed, I found that when I put some plants here on this bottom tier, they got leggy. They were supposed to be microdwarf tomatoes, but since the light was so far away, they were not as compact as they should be. It's a great system though, and I'm still experimenting with it. So I will see and figure that out. But if I were buying a system myself now, it would either be the Lettuce Grow Nook or another garden studio, which are the 2 I showed you over in the corner. And that's because they are just cute and compact and they grow really, really well. If you have a lot of space, then you can go for the Lettuce Grow Farm Stand, which is huge. That thing is 6 feet tall if you get all the tiers.
Yeah, I like your idea of starting with that little Kratky thing. I feel like that's totally doable for me, and I think I might give that a try after watching how simple that was for you to do that.
Oh, for sure. Someone is asking, are the Let Grow pods reusable? I'm not sure what a Let Grow pod is, but um,
Well, I think
these,
you
these
were showing. Yeah.
yeah, these
Yeah.
are called the cages. These are reusable. They're hard plastic. You can wash them, wash the heck out of them. The sponges, no, not reusable. Because what's going to happen is once your plants start growing, as you saw here, all of those roots are coming through the sponge. Okay. So you're going to take that whole sponge. And if you were planting this in a different system, you're going to put this right in the other system. If you're planting it outside, you're just going to plant that whole sponge in soil. So you don't reuse those.
Um, Send me an email if you're having trouble here. I'll pop it up. But whenever you have your yearly, if you are a yearly premium Seed to Spoon app subscriber, whenever you go to check out at Park Seed, if you just pop in your email that's associated with it, it should auto take off all of your shipping. So if you're having any issues with that, send me an email and I'll pop that up for you here
See,
real
I
quick.
did not need to learn that bit of information. Now I'm going to order all
I
the
know it's
things.
dangerous, right?
My husband laughs at me because I'll like put extra stuff in the cart just to get the free shipping. And I almost ordered something and I was like, oh my God, they want me to pay shipping.
I know. I
And
hate
shipping
shipping
is
costs.
always
So when we have that, I'm like, yes. I was like, I don't have, I can just buy, whatever, whenever I need it.
yeah.
Okay. So I went ahead while you were talking this last and I drew a winner from everybody that had been commenting. We had so many comments. You guys were super chatty and I love it. I love chatting with you guys and hanging out for the hour. So this was super fun. But congratulations here to GMC Nutcracker. Send us an email at info@seedaspoon.net and I will get you hooked up with your free 1 year premium
Congratulations.
subscription. Very
And
exciting.
yes, SCN
So
232. Who is that? That's one of my group people. You're right. It is China Jade. Whoever that is has been paying attention to what I planted last week.
awesome. Well, great. Well, thank you so much, Kris, for joining today. This was super informative and I loved it. It's very, very helpful.
Thank you for having me. I had a good time. And if you guys have any questions, just reach out.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll definitely have to do this again and you'll have to show us how everything's going.
Yes, I would love that. All right. Have a great day.
Awesome. See you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.